Everybody, welcome back to another fantastic episode of Ready to Die Fighting. I'm Chris, and I am working on a winter car kit, a winter survival car kit type of thing. The use case being if you're driving, it's a blizzard, it's cold, you get a flat tire, maybe you spin out, maybe a deer jumps out, whatever the case may be, and now you are stuck in the snow for several hours perhaps, which can definitely happen. You hear a story, at least one every winter, of some family or some person who is trapped in their car for days, and maybe they survive, maybe they don't. Now, I'm not preparing to be trapped in the car for days. I don't feel like our winters are bad enough here that that's very likely. Several hours is entirely possible, though. And so I would like to make a several hour stay in the car as comfortable as possible, but also make sure that no one dies, because that just seems unnecessary to me. That seems avoidable, and I'd like to avoid that if possible. So, let's get to it. This is a series of videos, and if you're enjoying these and if they're helpful, please like and subscribe. Why is this being difficult? This is supposed to be easy to put together. Supposed to be. There we go. Being a little difficult today. Like and subscribe, and let's get started. So, I already did a video discussing this stove. You can go look for that and how it works with this. I also discussed how these water packages work great even when frozen. I've repeated the test actually again to make sure it's completely frozen. I left it in the freezer for a couple days, and it was the same. The package retained its durability, it didn't rupture, nothing happened. It was good. So that's the direction I'm going to go in. I thought about options like a water bottle like this, and this is great. But if this freezes, I don't really see how you're going to get the water out. You're just not. Even though it's metal, this one is metal. How long is it going to sit on here before it thaws enough to get the water out? That does not seem like a good idea to me. Some other options that you might want for storing water in your car is, or not storing, but being able to access water in this type of scenario, is a water filter. So this is the Sawyer Mini, or maybe it's a Squeeze. No, it's the Mini. Squeeze, I don't know. But it comes with a little bag like this. It actually doesn't come with this cap. That's something I just picked up from Home Depot, and you put it on there, and it basically just makes it so that water's not dripping all over the place for storage. So that's just kind of a convenient little pro tip there. And so what you do is you just fill this up with water wherever you can get it from. This isn't the easiest to fill. If you're trying to dip this into a lake or something like that to get water out, it's not necessarily the easiest to fill, but it can be done. Be patient. And then you would take this off. There's an arrow in there that shows you which direction it flows. You screw that on there, nice and tight. And they tell you to kind of like wipe it off to get any drippings. You don't want the contaminated water dripping in there. And you could just dump it, pour it, drink straight out of it, whatever you want to do to get that water. And I think for backpacking and camping and things like that for one person, this is a pretty good idea and a good option. This also, if I remember correctly, screws on to this is just like a standard water bottle top. So if you've got Aquafina, Dasani, whatever, just like one of the regular water bottles, this should squeeze right onto it, and you can filter that water. And I have a lot of these. I keep them in pretty much every bag. I've given them away and various people. It's a good thing to have, in my opinion. But I'm thinking in this particular use case, if you're stuck in the snow, um, I don't know how useful this is going to be. Because for one, any water that you might be able to find could very well be frozen. That's not going to work. I mean, that's just not really going to work. You can't filter frozen water. So this kind of, additionally, depending on where your car breaks down, I mean, there just may not be access. Like if you're stuck in like some type of embankment, you might not be able to get out of the car. If the snow is deep enough and walking, it might be too dangerous to do that, or you just might not be able to. So I think in this particular use case, I don't know how useful this is going to be. So I'm not really prioritizing it. Now it is going in a car. So space, we're not super limited on space. We're not really concerned about weight. But I do want to make this as small of a kit as possible and minimalist as possible, just because it's not for me. And I want to make it as easy and uncomplicated as I can and take up as little space in the trunk because, I'm the prepper. She's on board, kind of, but I don't think she wants to give up all her trunk space on an emergency kit. So I think this is probably going to just go bye-bye. We'll put that someplace else. Different. Now, in the summer, this might be more viable. Winter? I don't know. Yeah, walking around in unfamiliar territory in deep snow, that can be dangerous. Looking for water? I don't like it. Another option that people often use is this is a Silhouette key. They're inexpensive. These are used to, like on commercial buildings, industrial buildings, and whatnot. They have faucets on the exterior, but it's restricted access. I don't work in a realm where I would ever actually need this. I'm not a plumber or construction or anything like that, so I don't know a ton about it. I've never actually used this in real life. But this is, I confirmed with a few people, workers at Home Depot and whatnot, where I purchased a number of these. I like to keep it in the car, keep it in my bug out bags, because if something does jump off while I'm not home, there is water in those buildings, and you might not be able to access it without one of these. So it makes sense to have it in the city. But there's a couple problems with it. It's my understanding that not every spigot or faucet or water outlet is potable water. And I don't have enough knowledge to know the difference. And non-potable water can be not that big of a deal. Like drinking from the hose when you were a kid, like we all did it. My dogs drink, I would say, exclusively from the hose. That's how I fill up their water thing, especially outside. We didn't die, we're fine, the dogs are fine. But technically that's non-potable water. So it could be okay, but non-potable water could also be filled with bacteria. It could be like sewage. It could be recycled water. It could be water that's filled with chemicals. It could be, you just don't know. You just don't know. And it could be something that could kill you or make you very sick. And in an emergency scenario, like I don't want to drink non-potable water in the best of circumstances. If I'm trapped and can't get to a hospital, if I'm dependent on my body and my mind to stay alive and to keep my son alive, I don't want to be puking and diarrhea-ing and unconscious or whatever is going to happen. Also, if her car breaks down someplace where there's like buildings and stuff where she can use this, Just wait inside the building. Use their phone, whatever. Why wait in your car? That's just. I'm not bringing it. I'm not packing it. That's just extra mass, extra space, extra layer of complication where I've got to explain how to use that and when to use it. And in this particular scenario, I don't feel like it's necessary. This is specifically car breakdown in winter, in the snow, waiting for help. That's this use case. That's not useful in this use case. I'm not saying that nobody use it, but think about how you're going to be using your stuff. People make bug out bags and kits and all that, I notice, and like people just try to cram a bunch of stuff in, and all this stuff seems like good ideas, maybe, but you really got to think about how you're going to be using it. I probably should have gotten the fire started while I'm sitting here talking. So all that being said, I feel like this is the best option. Now, this isn't perfect. I mean, these can freeze, but the big issue here is that they're very small, and the recommended consumption is use 4 of these bags per person per day. 4 of these. That's not going to take up a lot of space. This is, you think maybe you could just pack a couple of these. This might not be enough. I also am still concerned about them leaking. So I did get another one of these containers, and I stuffed it full. I wanted to fit at least 8, and I am able to fit 8 of these in here. And with 8, that is 2 days for one person. And if more people are with her, like her kids, it's enough for maybe 1 or 2 of them per day. Now that's not ideal, since you need 4 of them per person per day. But realistically, myself and the person I'm making this for pretty much always bring one of these when we go someplace. And even though mine's not always full, because I'm like drinking on it all the time, I almost always have one of these that's like maybe half full at the very least with me. So it's this plus this, right? So that immediately gets better. This is 40 ounces. No, this is 30. I think this is 32 ounce. 32 ounce sounds right. That's significantly better chances. Man. I'm weak. It's difficult to open now. Good to know. I'm going to have to get her some kind of opening. I did not reapply wax on this thing, but maybe it remelted. I was not expecting this hold up. I don't have anything handy. Maybe some keys. Let's see, maybe there might have been some residual wax that remelted on here. I originally did that to test it out. If you watch all of my videos, previous videos in the series, I explain that a little bit better. That's a little hang up I wasn't expecting. But let's see now. There we go. So the wax, that's a pretty effective way to seal this thing, I think. So I'm going to put that in there. Oh, I didn't tell you what I'm doing. I also, food. It's fan again. So food is honestly kind of low on the list as far as survival goes. If you think about the things of threes, and it's kind of a ballpark, 3 seconds, no, I think it's 3 minutes without air, 3 hours, you can die from exposure, 3 days without water, and actually you're at 3 weeks without food, realistically. So food is a pretty low priority for this particular thing. I don't anticipate her being stuck, even in the worst of scenarios, for 3 weeks. That should not happen. Unless, if it has, then things have gone very, very wrong. And no little car kit in the world is going to help with that. But for 3 days, water is by far the priority, and food isn't, except that hypothermia is a concern. I would say it's a pretty big concern. I would say probably the maybe second biggest concern. And being cold, for your body to regulate your temperature, you need energy, and you get energy from food. So just shivering, this requires energy. It takes a lot of energy, actually, to shiver and be cold and like hold, doing this type of stuff. You're using up a lot of energy. Your body needs fuel to regulate your temperature. Also, one of the easiest ways to stay warm and to get warm is to warm the inside. Warm the inside and the outside follows. So having some warm food will do two things. It will warm you up in the immediate, but it will also give you fuel so that you can regulate your temperature properly. And just the act of digesting food is also burning energy, but it's got the engine running. And when the engine's running, you're generating heat. If you exercise, you're generating heat. So it's doing a lot of different things that can help you out and keep you warm. Now, options for food. We've got a few things here. A few different options I was considering. So, oatmeal. This is one of my favorites for backpacking, camping, emergency kits, and all that because it has a very long shelf life. It's very stable, doesn't require very much water. It's warm, it's filling, there's fiber. Oatmeal's very good for you. It doesn't raise your blood sugar, helps lower cholesterol. Oatmeal's great. Oatmeal's great. And this is by Kodiak Cakes, so it's got extra protein in it. And I just like this company in general. 12 grams of protein in this little bag. So that's awesome. What I also love about it, you know what? On the Quaker oatmeal, the package is actually, you can use as a bowl and you can pour water in and use the package. This package doesn't actually state that. I kind of assumed it, but I don't know. So let's try this out. The directions say 1/3 cup of water or milk. Let's find out what a 1/3 cup of water or milk is. Got my measuring bowl, or cup, whatever. So 1/3 cup. Of course, 1/3 isn't on here. That is very inconvenient. Let me grab a different measuring cup. All right, we'll use this. 1/3 cup. That's not very much. Gonna open my little package here. I'm testing all this stuff out now. I'm gonna see how this is gonna work. These are like the Capri Suns, kind of. Like trying to open it without spilling it every freaking where. All right, so that's maybe half this package. About half, I would say. So stick that right there. Now that should not take too long to get hot, especially since I'm going to use a top. Oh man, floaty in there. Dang it. One of these days, I'm gonna actually pay attention and try to clean stuff out before I start cooking it. It's warm to the touch already. There we go. I don't know what that was, but I don't want to eat it. So I'm actually going to eat this oatmeal if I can. All right, so oatmeal is one option. The other option that you have is the military meals ready to eat. MREs. These guys, if you aren't familiar, are used by the military and probably other people. Oh yeah. And they are nice because it's in a very durable package. They've got, I think, like a 10-year shelf life on them. They're very stable in all different types of temperatures, a lot of different flavors. They usually come in a bigger bag with a bunch of other things that is often basically just junk food. There'll be like Pop-Tarts and candy and like some Kool-Aid mix. They usually have like a package of coffee in there. If you go to an Army supply store, let's see, you can often buy them just the meal portion, the entree, and not all the other junk. And so this was only $3.99. We got our nutritional information. 200 calories, serving size of 1 pouch. There's 12 grams of protein, 37 grams of carbohydrates, no cholesterol. Woo! 1,070 milligrams of sodium, which is 45% of their daily intake. 7 grams of fat, 0 trans fat, so that's good. There's some iron, there's some vitamin C, some calcium, some 20. This particular flavor is the vegetarian taco pasta. And the way this works is, well, you could, if you've got a pot or whatever, you could put it in a pot and boil it if it was big enough. However, you can also get these heaters. The way these work, and I'm not going to demo it here today because I don't plan on eating this today, and I don't want to waste this either, even though they are inexpensive. Again, Army Surplus Store, online, where you can buy one, you can usually buy the other. You put in just a tiny few drops of water into this package, just a few. It's, I think it's just up to this line. You got to read the directions, but yeah, just up to that line. And then open this up, and actually I got to tear it. So you open it up, and then you stick your package in, and you just kind of roll it and leave it, let it sit for a little bit. You definitely want to use this cardboard sleeve because this bad boy gets hot. This will, oh my God, it gets so freaking hot. So you got to use this as like, you can also use it as like a, kind of helps you hold it up, the bottom folds, but basically this kind of number. And within a few minutes, your entree is piping hot. And it doesn't waste very much water at all, is the great part. So you just kind of do this type of thing and then get your spoon and eat right out of the package. And that's the other thing I like about it. You can just eat right out of the package. That's very convenient, no mess, no cleanup. Just throw this out. Not great for the environment, but great for survival because you don't have to clean up. Waste your water on cleaning if you only got a little bit. So that's awesome. What I don't like about these though, and what ultimately made me just steer away from it, I may end up throwing it in anyway, is just that nutrition is just horrible. That's a ton of sodium. And I just, I don't know. I do like this in an emergency. I'm not crazy about them on a day-to-day. This wouldn't be a day-to-day, of course, but it's small, compact. This is a definitely maybe. I'm still thinking about it, but kind of leaning away from it. The other option is you have cans of soup that you could use, but I decided to go on a box of soup. Just because it's a little lighter, it's a bit more compact, it fits in this container nicely. The cans, in theory, are nice in that you would think because they're metal, you could just stick them on top of the stove. Eyes up here. On top of the stove to cook them, but what I've noticed is most cans these days have like some kind of plastic liner. I'm not sure what that is, but it's like a white liner on the inside, and I don't know that that's safe to heat. Don't know will it melt? Will it release toxins? Will it combust? I don't know what it is. I don't know that it's safe to heat up, so I didn't want to use cans. But this seems like a really good option to me as an alternative. There's 2 servings in this container. Um, we've got, it's only 3 grams of protein. It does have quite a bit of potassium in it, percentage-wise as well, 430 milligrams in a single serving. There's 11 grams of sugar, 3 grams of fiber, 18 grams of carbohydrates, 630 milligrams of sodium, so almost half as much as the other one. Cholesterol 30, calories 160. So a little bit less calories, but significantly less sodium. And honestly, this tastes better. This does. This is pretty good. I didn't have that particular flavor of MRE, but I've eaten MREs before. I've had these before. This is actually good. And I wouldn't mind eating it at all. It's organic and everything. This is just nice. However, you need some kind of pot or container or something to, oh, that's boiling. That's a solid boil right there. I'm not going to turn that off that yet. Oh, I hope I don't burn myself. Oh, I hope I don't burn myself. Let me get a spoon. But yeah, you need some sort of pot to cook this in, which the plan is to have one. For all of these things, you're going to need something, right, to cook in. However, this, I'm just heating up the water and dumping it in. I don't have to clean this afterwards. With the MRE, you're getting a little bit of water, putting it in there, and you're eating right out of the package. The other option that I'm about to show is a dehydrated meal. Again, put the water in there. This I never have to clean with any other option. So that's kind of a downside for this. The real benefit of this one, though, is this one is the only one that requires 0 water. 0! No water whatsoever. And, oh, I forgot the other thing why I didn't want to do a can, is because this is just cardboard. So let's just say this freezes solid, which maybe it will, maybe it won't, I don't know. But let's say it freezes solid. I can just rip it open and just have a block of soup and stick it in there. With a can, that might be a little harder. Just a little bit. Let's see if I solve myself. I'm a little nervous, to be honest. Oh, figure it out now. Rather burn myself now than in a car. So let's see how we're doing here. Smells good. This package seems to be holding. It does feel, it feels waxy on the inside. I think it'll hold, and I think it'll be just fine. So it says, let it steep. You can use milk for extra protein. And then you want to let it sit for a little bit. Let's stir it up some. And there we go. There we go. Good enough. Good enough stirring for me. Alright. Next step. I'll eat that in a little bit. Tell you how it tastes. I actually haven't tried Kodiak brand of this particular oatmeal. So this earned a spot in here because it's compact. It requires no water. If it freezes, it will. I can still get to it, and it's delicious. So I'm gonna go with it, even though I still will need to clean a pot. None of these are perfect, but this is not a perfect scenario. Last option I'm going to go over for food. This water. The water that I just left sitting up there precariously is leaking all over the table. There's Mountain House, there's Backpackers Pantry, there's Alpine Air, there's a bunch of different brands and companies who make these things. this is a flavor that the lovely people at REI recommended to me as a delicious flavor that everyone liked. So I figured I would try it. What I like about these, ridiculously long shelf life. They are freeze dried, so you can store it in whatever. I mean, heat, cold, doesn't matter. These things are going to be fine. People take these and backpacking up in the highest mountains where it's freezing cold and glaciers and all that. They're fine. Take it to the swamp, it's fine. Very versatile. You do not need a pot to cook it. You eat right out of the container. So just rip this bad boy open. I'm going to eat this as my dinner today. And this particular flavor, they give you some goodies to mix in. This is pad thai with chicken, and it's got the peanuts and some lime and peanut butter so that you can kind of customize your flavor. It also looks like it has a little extra piece of plastic that's not supposed to be in there. And you want to get this little oxygen absorber out of there. How much water do we need? I forgot to boil the water again. 2 cups of boiling water. Let's see how many packages we need to get to 2 cups. So, 2 cups is up to that line. Let's see what we got. I think I definitely want to have a knife, is what I'm learning for this, opening these waters. Oh, spill. Wasting precious water. Definitely use a knife. Definitely use a knife. So that is a little less than 3/4 cup. I did spill some, so it might have been even a full cup. I spilled more than I would have liked. Here's a little tiny knife, similar to what a lot of people just have. So let's try this again. And hopefully not spill all over the frickin' place. Much better. So now that's up to, oh man. I knew this was going to take multiple packages. I wasn't sure how many. So of course nothing uses the same units of measure. That's going to be 2 cups, but this is given in milliliters. So that's we're up to 1 3/4, and this is 3 packages. So I need 4 packages. That is no bueno. So some water was spilled, but here's got another half. So roughly, I'm going to put a little bit extra. I'm probably going to spill more. So yeah, that's 4 packages, maybe 3.5, since I did spill some, for 1 freeze-dried meal. That is the downside to that, for sure. That's the big downside, is there's no water in there. You've got to have water to make this work. But the upside is, in this package, you got 420 calories. This is actually 2 servings. So 2 people can eat, or you can eat a lot. 23 grams of protein. Got some potassium, got some calcium, got some iron, 24 milligrams of, what's that called? 25 milligrams of cholesterol, 710 of sodium, not great. 55 grams of carbohydrates, got some fiber, some sugars. And these, a lot of them taste good. So I feel like nutritionally, for virtually no weight and not a whole lot of space, you're getting a lot of bang for the buck with these. But you do have to provide a lot of water. So if I went with my original plan of 8 packages of water I can fit inside this container. That's one of these and only 1 day's worth, I guess, of drinking, which for one person, that's probably a non-issue. That's probably a non-issue. A day's worth of water and a very hearty, large meal with a ton of nutrition in it. That's not bad, honestly. I don't hate that. But when you potentially have more people, that's taking up a lot of water. See how my oatmeal looks. Ooh, this video's long. I hope it's entertaining and informative. Let's give this. So this is a win, even though it doesn't state on the package that you can just pour water directly into it. You obviously can, and it works. And you know what? It's going to help keep your little hand warm. I think this took too long. Either I didn't put enough water. I like my oatmeal a little bit more on the watery side. I let it sit too long there. But it tastes fine. It tastes perfectly fine. My hand is warm. This is going to fill me up. I probably shouldn't eat all of it then because I want to eat the pad thai. I feel like this would be a good... You're about to eat, I mean, you're stuck in the car. Don't eat everything at once. But if it looks like you're going to be spending the night, this is probably a really good breakfast. It'll help warm you up, kickstart your engine, wake you up and all that. Good stuff. Spilling water again. When will I learn? And last thing is got these little coffee packets. Kuju. Also from REI. This is premium single origin Papua New Guinea with maple syrup, red oak, and dark chocolate. I don't drink coffee, but that sounds pretty good. Looks very nice. It's organic coffee. It's made with wind power, fair trade, you know, all that fun stuff. That makes you feel like you're doing the right thing when you buy it. And so the directions here, I'm not going to make this one because I'm not going to drink it. It's got pictures there. So look at that picture, little directions. So you open it. I got to read it. You open it. And then there's a filter inside here, and you tear that filter along the perforation, and you put it in your mug, kind of anchored in place, and then you pour 200-degree water to the brim of the filter, and then you just kind of let it seep through and just keep repeating that until you got about 8 ounces of coffee. If you like your coffee extra strong, let the filter steep in the mug while the coffee cools a little bit. So, this is another very lightweight, not take up a whole lot of space. But if you're somebody who needs coffee and having another warm liquid, here, not a bad way to go. How many of these packages is 8 ounces? I don't know. So it says it's 4.225 fluid ounces. Oh wait, no, that's what 4 is. So this is I'm going to say 1 fluid ounce. I don't know what that is in ounces. Why everybody can't use the same units of measure beyond me? Let's see, is this boiling yet? No, it's not. I should have started that sooner. I should have. My laptop broke. I can't edit my videos anymore. Wow, this is getting really long. I don't think I'm going to make you guys wait to watch me eat this. I would like to give a review of it, if it's delicious or not. But I don't want this to be a long video when we're talking about food. Where did my innards go? My little condiments. But Yeah, so everything is wet. Everything's wet here. I'm learning something. This water's a mess. Drink it, I guess. Don't just leave little bags, open bags of water. Shocking that that would make a mess. So here we go. We've got some sriracha, some crystallized lime, peanut butter, and actual peanuts, because this is pad thai. So the directions say, blah, blah, blah. Remove your little packet, add the peanut butter to other ingredients in the pouch, add 2 cups of boiling water, stir thoroughly, making sure noodles are fully submerged, seal, and let sit for 15 to 20 minutes. Then you can add lime in the sriracha to taste. And then this says, adding all the sriracha is like a medium heat at a Thai restaurant. So I'm a little sissy. I don't want medium heat. I'm probably just going to put a little bit in there. Then stir it, and then you can sprinkle your peanuts over the entree and serve. So I like this one, in theory. I like that it comes with some peanut butter. That's going to be some nice, good protein. Pad Thai is normally good, so I'm hoping this is not a disappointment. And I'm going to end this video here. Because, yeah, I'm not going to get this done in time. So this will be reasonable. So, hopefully, all of this information is giving you something to think about. Not just, I wanted to do something a little different, not just tell you, put this in your car, put this in your bag. I wanted to give you the why and how you want to think about it for your particular scenario, and like actually think about a scenario. Don't just randomly throw a bunch of stuff in your car or in your bag or whatever and think that you're prepared, because maybe you are, maybe you aren't. Maybe you're spending money on the wrong stuff. Really think this stuff through. How are you going to use it? And so there we go. Like and subscribe if you enjoy this. Good on you if you stuck around for this long of a video. And I will see you next time. It smells good. Thanks for watching.